Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to New York session. It's a brand new week. Today's date is the 7th of April 2025. Okay, so let's start with um, an update on how the week economic calendar is looking like. Okay, so that's how the economic calendar looks like. We don't have much in terms of news event. However, um, you know, as usual, random news can come in and cause some movement in the market that might not be predicted. Today we don't have much, and then tomorrow we don't have much. The only big mover for the week is the Thursday CPI. That's the only big mover. I don't think FOMC might do something, but I don't think that might be the case. And then we also have rate announcement on the New Zealand dollar, which can cause the New Zealand to move. And then on Friday we have in the morning, that one can also be a big mover as well. And GDP on the British pound. Okay. Then maybe later in the evening you have the I don't know what that is, but I think it has something to do with crude oil. I'm not sure. But that's how the economic calendar looks like. So Thursday afternoon we have some big moves happening, and then Wednesday in the early hours in the morning, big moves on the New Zealand dollar as well. Okay, now let's go back to dollar index. Now dollar index, I think based on what we said last week, if they pull back, the price is gonna struggle in here, which is what is happening currently. So as it stands, we have potential kind of resistance that price will struggle to go through. If we go through this, then obviously we go up. So we are watching this imbalance in here to support price to continue going lower. All right. That means we'll have the euro having the same thing, similar. So euro might also be moving higher. I think towards this equal high. I mentioned that I still think euro might go for that equal high. The only problem is we don't have any gap. So we're going to be referring to this last down candle. For the continuation. So this low to this high. For the continuation to the upside. Now, there is so much going on in terms of there's so much going on in terms of trade war, and anything can happen at this point. I'm actually sometimes trying not to avoid giving long-term predictions because of how insane the market has been moving lately. But the good news is this was something that personally I expected it. The reason why I expected it is because that's how the first week of April usually trades. It's always going to be some crazy move that doesn't make sense. I think I did mention it that the first week of the month and then the first month of the quarter, which is the second quarter, April, it's going to be a little bit weird, awkward how price is gonna move. So in a way, it did something that I anticipated, but not as aggressive as it did. Okay, the aggressiveness is not what I expected, but the weirdness of how price move is, yes, anticipated. So maybe that could just be that for the first week of the quarter, and then going forward it will go back to being normal. Okay, so this week you're looking for basically a continuation to the upside on the euro, right? um the down candle inside the previous week, that's our stop loss. If we go below that, then we switch. So we're looking for higher prices. Now on the other hand, British pound has done something that it's quite, I don't know how to put it, but it has broken structure. It took out previous month high, and then we broke down. We broke this down candle, leaving a fair value gap as it stands. So I think we might have some weakness in the British pound going forward, not the euro. So it's either they'll keep this euro in a consolidation and continue to go up, down in here, and then send the British pound lower. Now, not to here, but maybe to somewhere here, which is where the last down candle is on the weekly time frame. Yeah, right. So British pound, we are looking for price to trade down for this week. Now that will be the case because of the euro pound. Okay, they are sending euro pound higher, and I think if I can go on the 3 months time frame, price is aiming for somewhere up here. Price is aiming for that high, and then trade somewhere inside that fair value gap over there. So we will have a continuous weakness in the British pound. Any rally that the dollar does, the British pound will drop aggressively. So British pound, look for a sell. I think a sell will be a better option for now to trade here and then here, right? And then probably leave euro for now. Okay, focus on this because it's giving high probability direction. Now that's something that I probably will talk about in future, even though I'll give the analysis, but only focus on the one that is of high probability. Now, is euro high probability? No. Why? Because it's in premium. This high to this low is in premium. So going long is not a good trade. But this high to this low, okay, that's premium. So selling is it will be a better option. Okay. So trading somewhere down here. First, target this, then that, and on the H4 it will bring you to those levels that I was talking about here and then here. Okay, so target those two levels for now. In terms of entries, if we pull back, sell short. Okay, we took out a high. If we pull back to somewhere here, that fair value gap, sell short for continuation to the downside, especially with all these up candles. Australian dollar. And I think on Friday, a friend of mine sent me, I think he sent me the reason why the Australian dollar dropped that much. And let me see if I can find it. Because it didn't make sense to me how the Australian dollar dropped that much. Okay, so apparently this is the reason why Mr. Trump, Australia will not be granted an exemption from the 25% tariff on aluminium and steel imports. Right? So I guess that was the cause of the drop that happened on the Australian dollar, right? Now it has wiped out everything, including levels that I did not actually even anticipate. Now, on the high time frame, they've traded to oops, a 6 months. It's a 6 months auto block. No, 3 months. They've traded to something that I saw on my phone. Yeah, here. This down candle. Okay, the closing price of it. This down candle prior to the move up with a fair value gap, the closing price. And that's where price stopped. This is all just manipulation when we started the week. So what I'm anticipating is a pullback, and that can give some of the Australian pairs some strength this morning. And I like Aussie CAD. Okay, I like Aussie CAD. As a matter of fact, I think it was Aussie CAD that I was looking at on a 3 months chart. Yes. So this down candle, they took out the low of the up candle. And on the H4, we took out previous week low and we are back above this down candle on the H4. So I'm looking for today a move inside this fair value gap. I'm looking for a move to this fair value gap and then that one. Right now, considering how it dropped right from here, I don't think it will continue dropping. I don't think that will be the case, especially where we have this 3 months down candle. I don't think it will continue dropping. And again, it's the first week of the quarter, so this drop here is too much for price to continue. I don't think we are in a recession either, so it's going to be a rejection, right? So look for that move into that fair value gap up here and then the other one, right? You can also look at the New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD has also traded to this auto block here that happened back in 2022, when this move happened, I actually traded it on the weekly. We traded to that fair value gap. So you come back to the discount level, which is good. Now they've wiped out everybody, so buying right now will be very, very scary for a lot of people, but it's good because we have the up candle and then we have three down candles trading towards it, so that's fine. On the H4 we are almost above this down candle. Preferably if you can close above that, then you look for a move to trade up here. Okay, so lots of opportunity on this pair for this week because they've already taken out the previous week as well. I'm expecting a move back up. I think that is it for now on these pairs. Okay, let's move on to gold. Let's start from the monthly. So gold, we've taken out the previous month high out, and then we've traded through this volume imbalance, and then we traded through down candle over here. So this might cause a high on the gold market. It might cause a high or a seasonal high, or it will just be a reaccumulation on the weekly. For that to happen, then we need a close above a down candle first before we resume going up. So personally, I will wait for a close above a down candle because the weekly is still bullish. I'm not looking for a continuation to the downside. That's not the case, right? Even though we had a previous month rate, the down candle is here, the fair value gap is here, so we are far away from actually breaking to go lower. Gold will continue going up despite the fact that we took out the previous month high. All right, gold will continue going up. So look for a close above the previous day high. I also like the fact that if you look at the monthly candle, this monthly candle, and I've taught you that the low of every previous month high, the low of every candle forms within the previous month. So this low here formed within this. There's something in here that stopped it. The same way this low is within this candle, and within that is the weekly gap. This one, that's the previous month low. Okay, formed inside this candle. The same way this month the low is forming inside this fair value gap. So you can anticipate the daily closing above previous day's high and then look for a buy to continue going up. So on the H4, you can see they've wiped out all these lows. Okay, so on the H4, start looking for this as your sign that price is gonna go up. This, once we can close above it, that can be the sign, and probably by the time we close above it, you will see you might see the daily giving a close above the previous day's high. Okay, so that will be the business for that pair. All right, crude oil. Let's go to the 3 months chart. Looking at how price has moved already, I think this high, this low, and that high giving us a range after not respecting this down candle. So we might trade a little bit lower more into this fair value gap. Let me zoom in. We might trade a little bit lower more into that on the 3 months chart. Let me go to the 6 months. Yeah, we might trade a little bit more into that, which is somewhere here. Then we can anticipate maybe a bounce. It will just be a bounce, right? Because the monthly is not breaking or not closing above any down candle yet. So if we reach this level, a bounce might happen, and then we will see what we'll get with that bounce. So look for continuation to the downside. 57.40 is the drawn liquidity. Watch this gap and this up candle for the continuation to the downside. Maybe this New York session. And that's what you can do. Okay. And then ES. I think I told you guys that the close of this candle with a raid above the previous year high is giving 2022 vibe, right? Look at it's like a time machine. That's the first quarter. Look at how big the second quarter was in 2022. We're having the similar thing here, right? We traded down into a fair value gap and price never went down again. We traded down into a fair value gap. So going forward, we might not continue going down because we also have a down candle here. We might not continue going down. We might just stay in a consolidation until October, and then we resume going up. It can't extend the wick to this one. So they can extend the wick to this one. Remember, not the body, the wick. So that means on the lower time frame, we might get down candles to come here, but it will reject. And by the end of the 3 months, it will just be a wick, right? So based on that idea, the weekly is the most important time frame now. We're sticking with the weekly. The weekly is dropping, so we are looking for lower prices. On the daily is dropping, so we are looking for lower prices. Let me go back to the weekly. So this candle's long. The closing price first and then the low. Okay, so we are looking for a continuation to that closing price, which comes in at 4734. All right, then $4705.50, those two levels, that will be the drawn liquidity going forward, right? In terms of ideas, for now, watch this volume imbalance. During the 2 p.m. session today, if we get a rejection to close back below the gap, then look for a 15 minutes run above a high breaking structure, then sell short to continue going down. So what I mean is, this is the gap. Okay, so what you're going to be looking for will be a run above a high like this, break down, then look for similar to what I did last time to get my sell here. So this run a high, break down, pull back, then I sold short. The same thing. Run above a high, rejection, pull back, initial short. Okay, in a bearish market, that's your best trading style. Wait for a run above a high, and then a rejection, then you sell short. Okay. I was meant to talk about the Aussie pairs. Euro Aussie, we might get a pullback because it's extremely high. We're taking out previous week and previous day high, so this might start dropping. As to how far it's gonna drop, maybe target this candle's high first. Okay, this candle's high. The same thing applies to this, but this one is already gone, so I'm gonna leave that alone. This one is already left. You can also look at the pound New Zealand and the euro New Zealand, preferably euro New Zealand, because that is now rejecting. Okay, all right. Now let's move to the one that I think everybody's anticipating, because most people are unsure what's happening on the crypto market. But I think I've been saying it. It's not new, right? I've been saying that that is likely going to happen. So let's go over here. Remove that, expand that. Okay. So AX16, I think that was the level I said they were going to come for. And then once they go for it, we might start seeing buyers coming. I like the move down, and currently we are seeing some sort of a rejection. So far it's not done much. Once we break this up candle, then it'll be game time. Now I'm watching Bitcoin. I'm gonna break Bitcoin very soon. I'm watching that because Bitcoin is, let me bring Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has finally traded to that low, right? Let's remove all of this. That was a nice sell over here. Run above the high, we break down, pull back in the sell. I think last week we talked about this, that they were going to drop to that. Now on the monthly time frame, I said that this was a pullback, this low to this high. That's the range, and price was gonna drop to OTE, which was this candle. Right here. So between this candle's low and that level, which comes in at 74. Let me draw a line because I can see it properly. 74,532.81. Between that and 72,081.88, that level, and that's where we're expecting Bitcoin to come to and then resume going up. Okay, because that will be OTE, and that will be basically first area of accumulation after this consolidation. Unless there's a reversal, then we will wipe out this low, which that is not what I'm seeing. Okay, unless there's a reversal, then they will come out, but I'm not seeing that. Based on the higher time frame, I'm not seeing that. Right, the 3 months has a down candle here. We've created a fair value gap at the end of the first quarter. We've created a fair value gap. We have a down candle here, so similar to last 2024. So we had this as a down candle, created a fair value gap, price dips into that gap, reject, and then resume going up. The same thing here. We've created a down candle, we have a fair value gap, price dips in, then we expect them to resume going higher. So based on that idea, that's why this level to that level should reject and then go higher. All right, so I'm expecting the Bitcoin to drop here and then resume going up, right? And once we get that, you're gonna start looking for reversal signals on all these pairs, right? For example, even XRP has gone for that low that we talked about, and I said as soon as they go for it, we should get a rejection. Okay, and I think you already see in the rejection. Now this screen, I don't see things properly because it's too small. The screen is a smaller screen and the resolution is not high, so I don't see it properly. Let me hide. Okay, now I can see properly. Let me go back to Bitcoin because okay, all right. So Bitcoin did trade there. I didn't see that. I thought it was a line. Okay, I'll come back to Bitcoin soon. But this one is looking like it's rejecting already. Okay, let's watch this up candle right here. See how price is gonna react there, because they started the week and then we dropped down to attack this low. At the same time, if you go back to the 3 months, it's the same story, right? We close, it creates a gap, we dip in, we want them to reject because the first week of the quarter and the first month we dropped down. Had we gone up first, that would have been trouble, but we went down. Okay, we went down. We have one up candle here, we have this down, 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 trading below that. We want to see price reject from here. All right, so let's watch that up candle on the 1 hour chart and then see. But it's all going to depend on how Bitcoin is going to behave itself. So between this and that's where I'm expecting the reversal to happen. So now that they've touched it, it can go up from here. Bitcoin can resume going up from here. Watch the up candle. Okay, watch that one, because once we break that, then we have some clean equal highs over there. And let me see. I think it needs to come back down one more time. I personally think it should. This would be a best level for it to reverse here. So that 72,081.88, that would be the best level for it to reverse. So between this and that, so that's a refinement of the gap on the higher time frame. Only I remembered that word today. So that would be the refinement of the gap on the higher time frame. So at least you need to trade here, in here, and then resume going up. So let me get rid of that one because there's nothing over there, right? And then we also have the 618 exactly in that area. So one more run to 72,713, that area. Okay, 72,713 to 69,928. Between those two areas, that is where I want to see price start rejecting from. Okay, and that's why I want to see price start rejecting from. Where it rejected now, I don't think it's there's nothing there. Okay, so we might get one more move to the downside before we go up, or it can just go up. Just watch the up candle, because that up candle, if it's gonna go there, it will reject price and then go down again. Plus, I don't see a reversal like this. It needs to run one more time, then we break. Ethereum will do the same. Okay, we've taken out an important low. We'll go to a yearly. Let's check the 6 months. Okay. It's not looking good for Ethereum, is it? Okay, so that's how far Ethereum can drop to. 891.93. That is where I'm seeing Ethereum going. Okay, based on this time frame, this 6 months time frame, that's where I see Ethereum going. Yeah, that's where I see Ethereum going. So all Ethereum traders out there, that's where I see Ethereum going. I don't see anything, only level that can cause something is here, but even that, it will come back down again. So randomly, if you see a flash on Ethereum, it's because it needs to come for this low, right? So if Bitcoin decides to go down to that level that I'm talking about, maybe it can use that to accelerate the movement down to attack this. But watch this level, which comes in at 1.353, because there's still a small imbalance in there that price will rebalance. So a continuation to the downside, it's possible on Ethereum. So look for continuation to the downside. And I don't think it's ready to go up yet. Let's remove that. Hype. So hype also eventually took out that low as expected. But there's nothing here. So I don't know. I can't give anything because there's nothing here, right? The only thing that I can say is creating a buy model, right? The accumulated. So it can shoot up at any point in time, but let's watch everything from Bitcoin perspective. Okay, Bitcoin is similar or has a dollar index vibe. Okay, Bitcoin has a dollar index vibe, just as the dollar index controls the currencies. Bitcoin, in a way, kind of controls the cryptos, not as not as very close to currencies like dollar index is, because dollar index, if it goes up, the other ones will go down, and if it goes down, the other ones will go up. Crypto, sometimes there is a slight change, however, still crypto BTC is king. Okay, so whatever this one is doing, see, we've been dropping, and then all the cryptos have been dropping, because if Bitcoin is not going up, but most people not like to buy cryptos. So let's look everything from Bitcoin perspective. We still have a little bit movement to the downside, and then maybe a buy will come in. So hype will still go down, and then when Bitcoin is ready to go up, we will look at it and then see how we can get in to go up with it. Same thing applies to Ripple. It will reject this low. I think price will reject this low. Maybe not today, but if we can stay above it on a daily close basis, that'd be very good. So what I mean is the daily does not need to close below it. It needs to close above it. The next day can drop down again, but it needs to reject and close back above this. The main time frame is the weekly. Okay? The weekly does not need to close below this at all. You don't want that. If the weekly closes below, this fair value gap would be a big problem for XRP to now go back up. But if it rejects, then this will be basically a buy, and they will trade through the gap, and then you start going back up again, right? So let's see how Bitcoin is going to do, and then that will give us more idea. That's all. We traded to zoom in. That okay, that level that we marked on Friday. That's where they've traded to. Again, no idea when it's gonna go up. I mean, it's been crazy selling last week, and it's all part of the first week of the quarter of April. Sorry, the second quarter, which is April being the first month. It's part of the manipulation, and again, it's a good thing that it goes down first. Everything, and I know sometimes this is a project based what is it called, crypto. It's a project based. How Bitcoin trades still affects it, because investors will either be using Solana, which I think this project is on Solana, right? They'll be using Solana to purchase this. Before they'll purchase Solana, they'll be looking at what Bitcoin is doing, right? Because if Bitcoin is going up, Solana will go up. Then they'll get confidence in buying. But because of the lack of confidence in BTC going up, then definitely Solana is going to drop, leading to investors thinking, okay, I don't want to buy Solana right now. So if they don't have Solana, they cannot purchase, let's say, for example, Tachuo. But when we get confidence in Bitcoin going up, definitely Solana is going to go up. There will be confidence in buying any project based on Solana. Okay, so similar to, I think, Tattoo Tatsky, the same idea. It's dropping because we have the weakness in Bitcoin. Once we start getting strength in Bitcoin, these projects will all go back up again. Because anytime Bitcoin goes up, we can see it shoots up. But if Bitcoin is going down, it goes down. Not because of the project, but because of the confidence the investors have in Bitcoin or the crypto market in general. And since, like I said, Bitcoin is the quote unquote king of the cryptocurrency, similar to the dollar index, whatever it does affects everything. Okay, so patience, let Bitcoin get to this level, And once we start moving higher, you will see that these are all gonna start shooting up again. All right. So pretty much that's it. Everything is now on Bitcoin because it's almost there. 72, 71, 3.03. That's our level. And once we get there, then we start looking. All right. So hopefully minds are calm now, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are scratching their head, wondering what's going on. It's normal. Okay. They were meant to go down, and you know that. So don't be surprised. The only surprise for me is still how the how the heck did um Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar drop like that. That's the only thing that I'm still scratching my head on. Apart from that, everything is normal. Okay. So without wasting too much time, today is Monday. Too early. Let's end here, and then we'll continue tomorrow. By tomorrow, something will happen, and then we can take advantage of it. So have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sun if you're in the UK, and wherever you are, just enjoy yourself. Take care.